When traveling to Italy, you should never pass up the opportunity to have a nice, relaxing cup of coffee.
Grazie. And that Gambrinus, this opened up in 1860, and it's one of the last remaining elegant cafes in Naples, Italy, or as they say, Napoli. Now, when buying a coffee in Napoli, you pay at the register first, then you take your receipt to the counter. As you can see, the counter is busy. Usually they are going to be really busy. You've got to mosey your way up there, get eye contact with one of them, usually a little coinage, a little tip works, and shout out your order. Un caffè.
Adesso scherzo.
Grazie. Thank you very much. Look at this. This is like the shortest shot I've ever seen. It's a tablespoon of coffee extract. It is so dense that when I dump this entire packet of sugar in it, watch this. Oh, it holds onto the top, and look at it slowly sink to the bottom. That is a beautiful thing. Now this is what a Neapolitan drinks as their coffee. In the morning they'll have cappuccinos, lattes, but I say stick with the pure stuff with the kick, because you are going to need it in order to keep up with the speed of this city, which is a frenzied and breathless pace. Believe me, we are not under any sun in Tuscany, folks. This is Napoli. Woo!
Naples has a gorgeous location in the southern part of Italy, in the Campania region. The city is built around the Bay of Naples, which opens up to the Mediterranean Sea. But you'll find the energy of Naples is most intense in its historic district.
I'm at the Piazza Municipio. This is considered the center of Naples and an area known for its congested traffic. But let me tell you, I have been walking around the city. This is nothing. Really, the traffic here just resembles a slow-moving parking lot. So you definitely do not want to rent a car here. You may not even want to hop into a taxi or take one of the public buses, because walking might get you there quicker. Now, when it comes to Naples, the city doesn't have the best reputation. When people visit southern Italy, they bypass it. They go to the more enchanting destinations of Italy's nearby Amalfi Coast. But to miss out on the Naples experience is a big mistake. Or is it?
For me, the best way to get a feel for Naples was to hire a guide. Marcello Uzzi is a lifelong Neapolitan.
I live in Manhattan, and this is crazy to me.
Yes, I think it's really, it's crazy to me too.
Is it hard to live here?
Yes, could be difficult, but you have just to modify a little bit your behaving just to get the best from a city so complicated like this.
Yeah, you have to know how to dive out of the way of scooters. That's what you got to know how to do.
Yeah.
But actually, people who live here, they don't even flinch when traffic is this close or scooter
No problem.
By.
Here, everything is always under control, and driving with a scooter is the best way to drive in Naples.
I would think so.
Because our traffic is so crazy.
So this is the Centro Storico.
Yes, this is Napoli. This is the real Naples, as you can see, full of peoples. And this is an open-air museum also.
The name Napoli literally translates as Split Naples. This single long street is considered to be the spine of the city.
You know, usually when you travel, you go to the historic districts, and sort of it becomes very touristy. Your historic district has remained absolutely authentic. You know,
yes,
so Neapolitan. I mean, you can't get more real than this. And that's sort of the open-air museum feel as well. It's just watching everything take place around you. This is wonderful.
This is another beautiful store where you can find all kinds of traditional handmade pasta.
Oh, we should go in.
Hello.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno. Hello.
Wow. Hello. This is
Hello.
amazing. So Napoli has certain shapes?
Yes.
Pasta? What are the Napoli
this
shapes?
This is special Napoli.
Okay.
And this traditional pasta. Candele.
Wow, this is candele?
Yes.
You could build a house with this.
It's a special pasta.
This is very big pasta. What else is Napoli known for? Because I know Italian food, I just don't know where it comes from.
Of course, for the mozzarella cheese.
Yes.
Mozzarella comes from
cheese.
Napoli?
Yes.
Oh, really?
This
Made,
mozzarella.
you know, in Naples, just using not less of 80% of real buffalo milk.
You take a buffalo, you take its milk, and you make the cheese.
You want taste?
Oh, I'll taste, yes.
Yes.
Oh, that looks good. It's good to be from
Are you
Napoli.
hungry?
It's good mozzarella.
It's not a question of being hungry for me. So sure, I can eat.
For you, lady.
Ah, grazie.
Prego.
Like?
Oh,
Try that.
thank you.
And this is a cheese,
Oh,
local cheese.
yeah.
You like
Oh,
mozzarella?
it's wonderful. So soft.
Good. You like? Yes.
The other major back street in this historic district is Pina Seca. If Spaccanapoli is the neighborhood's open-air museum, Pina Seca is its open-air market.
Yes, it's the most interesting market.
Do you do your
It's
shopping here?
Every day, every day. Everything is really fresh and come daily over here.
I guess so.
This is the only one place where grandfather, father, and son shouted prices.
Grazie. Am I now officially employed here? Am I going to have to start shouting prices? How much is your fish? I'll yell it out. I'll get you some business. Sepia, €8. Sepia, €8. We got some sardines for €2.50. See, I can bring in some business for you. Hello.
Canta qualcosa alla napoletana. So, Sam, what do you think about Naples?
It's overwhelming. It really is. Just my head is spinning. But I'll figure it out. Marcello told me of a special place deep within these streets that Neapolitans head to when they need some serious breathing space.
Through the archway and behind the tall walls is a refuge you would have no clue existed. This is the cloister of Santa Chiara, an 18th century monastery, and for only $5 you can decompress in the cloister's beautiful gardens.
It feels so good to feel the sun on my face. Those narrow passageways, it's hard for the sun to permeate through. Oh, this is such a lovely place, isn't it? And not only is the silence and the calm positively wonderful, but the mixture of colors, the bright yellows, blues, greens, it's very rejuvenating, you know. It gives you a boost, a well-needed one. I feel like after about 20 minutes of this, I'll be able to head out to the Centro Storico again. Maybe 30 minutes.
Welcome back to Naples, Italy, a city with a dizzying pace where all of life seems to be lived out on its narrow streets. But finally, we've got some space. This is Piazza Plebiscito. Piazza is a square, and this in the mid-1990s was actually a parking lot and a bus terminal, but they closed it off and made it a major gathering place. This is one of the few areas of the city where you can stand and admire its history and its architecture and not have fear of being run over by a militia of scooters. So folks, enjoy this while you can. Naples has long been considered the city that Italy forgot. There is a lot of graffiti here, a lot of trash, but the people here are tremendously proud of their city, and something that is a great source of pride for Neapolitans is their opera house. They say that music is in their blood, and that becomes evident just watching the classic Neapolitan. They themselves play the leading role in their own private opera. Teatro di San Carlo has been the home of Naples opera since 1737. Now in its third century, it continues in a flurried state, readying itself for its next production. Assistant manager Alexis Bulgari showed me around. Wow.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yes. Now, I don't know much about opera, but one thing I do know is that Neapolitans love it. They are known for their opera.
Yes, in fact, this city in 1600 and 1700 was the world music capital.
Naples was.
Yes, not only opera, of instrumental music in general.
Was opera then the way it is now, sort of, I'm just going to say it, stiff? You know, people that go to see the opera, they're in their pearls, they're in their velvet gowns. Is it like how it is now, where you get dressed in your finery?
No, not at all, not at all. First, you should imagine this hall without any chairs.
Okay.
Okay?
People would stand?
Exactly. Opera did not have a season like now. It was exactly like a festival.
Did you take a break to eat, or like to take a rest?
No, people would eat here.
You would eat?
Yeah.
Like in these boxes?
Food was served in the boxes, food was served, but people would not at all stand in silence. They would talk, they would even have folding tables and play cards. The boxes had curtains, so we can imagine that the curtains were closed and anything could happen behind those curtains.
You Italians. Well, that's fabulous.
Yeah.
We need to go back to those days.
Yes,
Now that sounds fun.
We do, we definitely do.
Naples is a city where you cannot just sort of passively absorb the environment, you got to put yourself in the ring. You know, it's a real sort of gloves-off kind of a city. And it may not seem that appealing, but it's thrilling in a way, really. When you accomplish even the smallest Neapolitan challenge, you just feel like you're on top of the world. Take, for instance, merely crossing the street. Now, just so you know, crosswalks in Naples really don't mean a stop for pedestrians. It just sort of says slow down for the pedestrians. So you just got to go. When you get to this point, you really got to study the traffic the way a surfer studies his way from the beach, like an athlete, really, where the vulnerability of this traffic is so I can make my move.
Naples has been settled for over 2,000 years by a multitude of rich cultures, and its art and architecture reflect this impressive world influence. My guide Marcello asked me to join him at the private chapel of the Sansevero family, a very prominent family of Naples that produced a total of 6 saints. They are portrayed within a brilliantly lush fresco on the ceiling of the chapel, which depicts the glory of the Holy Spirit.
Were there a lot of families in Naples that had something like this?
Of course, no.
No, they were very prominent.
And the prince engaged the best artists to do these operas, like Antonio Corradini, which made the Chastity dedicated to the mother of the prince, or the Quairolo, which made the Disenchantment dedicated to the father of the Prince of Sansevero.
Is the net actually marble as well?
Yes, because this was just a big piece of marble.
Oh my goodness.
And transformed by the, the precious hands of the Quairolo.
That really looks like a real net. Look at how it's wrapped around the toes, too. He's all caught up in there.
It's true.
What is considered to be one of the most impressive artworks in the world happens to be here, in the center of the chapel, the Veiled Christ.
And the perfection of this statue inspired a legend, which says that the veil was kept on the body later and crystallized by the Prince of Sansevero.
So the veil was actually a real veil, and then it turned to the marble that we see now. It is incredible. I mean, just the fact that it was sculpted out of marble in the first place seems like a miracle that someone, an artist, could do this.
It is true.
Coming up later on Passport to Europe, the pizza you tear apart with your bare hands. We return to Naples after this. I'm in southern Italy, in its infamous Mediterranean city, Naples. And I say infamous because the very well-known energy of the city is so intense, I feel that if you captured it, it could literally power the world. That doesn't mean Naples doesn't have its relaxing places, and actually I'm walking through one of them right now. It's an area known as Santa Lucia, marked by the Castel dell'Ovo, which literally translates to Castle of the Egg, which I think is quite adorable for such a formidable and a foreboding fortress. Right at the base of its walls is Borgo Marinaro. This is a village made for the fishermen here of Santa Lucia. And in the summer, it's a very popular place because it's all outdoor cafes. But even in the winter, here the sun is shining bright, a little chill in the air, but people are still out taking walks, maybe doing a little smooching as well. It's on Santa Lucia that you have one incredible view of Mount Vesuvius. And I must say, it's just like, wow. That's Mount Vesuvius. I mean, really, an A-list celebrity in the volcano world. Its only blockbuster being over 2,000 years ago, and it buried the city of Pompeii. Now, here's some stats. It's still active. In fact, it's the only active volcano in Europe, smallest active volcano in the world. Neapolitans say it's sleeping with one eye open. And when you ask anyone here, well, are you worried that it's going to blow at any time? Nah. I'm staying in the Santa Lucia district in a distinguished hotel which overlooks the Bay of Naples. It's called the Grand Hotel of Vesuvio. Sometimes I'll choose a hotel that immerses me in the atmosphere of the destination I'm in, and other times I just want a change of pace. And for me, the Grand Hotel of Vesuvio did just that. It's a very undisturbed and peaceful place to be. It's also centrally located, so anything I want to see and do here in Naples is walking distance. Nice plus. So this is my room, which is just a wonderful place to retire to after a long, hard day of hoofing it. As you can see, the colors are very calming. Love the wood floors. And look at the height I have. It just sort of soars, doesn't it? And I love these huge big as theater curtain draperies. This hotel is known for its large and spacious rooms, but they don't come cheap, let me tell you. This room is 400 euros a night, but you can negotiate them down. Just depends on whether or not there's a convention in town, whether it's Easter. Then they'll either say yes or no. Now, I do have a beautiful view of the Mediterranean. Come look. All the deluxe rooms front the bay and the Mediterranean Sea. Just a beautiful view, isn't it? Especially overlooking the Borgo Marinaro, which I think has such character with all the rowboats jumbled together. Neat view. And right behind me, do you see that that's Mount Vesuvius? So I guess I'll have a heads up should anything start to rumble. Actually, maybe I should see if the hotel has an express checkout option. That's good to know. I'm in Naples, Italy, a fascinating city that may cause a major culture shock for those not expecting it. And if you're feeling out of sorts with this city, then you must have their famous pizza. To take just one bite of this melt-in-your-mouth delicacy is to forgive the city of all its faults. So I'm having a pizza party with the teachers from the American Studies Center, and this is Neapolitan Pizza.
This is one of the best. Plain, simple, margherita.
First of all, we each have our own pizza, which, usually you're used to sharing it. You take a slice here, plunk, comes down in front of you. So now this is a traditional Neapolitan pizza because it's very thin crust. It's almost
thin
crust. It's almost like a crepe. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. I see people eating with their fingers and with their forks. So what's Neapolitan?
My Neapolitan husband says that the only way to do it is tearing a piece apart. Never take a knife to pizza.
Never take a knife to pizza.
And while you're tearing, you fold it again in four, take a big bite.
Like that. That's wonderful.
One of the good things about the pizza here, as opposed to the pizza in the States, with the wood ovens, they run them so hot and the crust is so thin that within a matter of 2 or 3 minutes, the pizza's ready and ready to eat. So.
Good point. And the best part is that crunchy blackened bit on the edge there. That's the best. And this is one of the best places you said to come for pizza.
Yes.
Da Michele. Da Michele? Am I saying that right?
Da Michele.
Michele.
Yes.
And this place has been open for a long time.
Since 1870.
And it's a family run.
Yes, it is.
Grandfather and great-grandfather and great-grandmother started it, and the family's still going strong. And I love the ambiance here. Stark green and white tiles, fluorescent lighting. It's made there's very little romance here.
Just two kinds of pizza, marinara and margherita.
Boy, they know how to make pizza.
That's just part of the way of life in Naples.
Come nighttime, the energy changes in Naples. You think, my goodness, it couldn't get even more chaotic. And it doesn't. It actually mellows out. People begin to relax. The mood lightens. The city is just so full of contradictions. Neighborhoods easily shift from lovely to seedy, and streets filled with litter and graffiti are home to astonishing art. And then there is the Neapolitan himself, who understandably has an edge and yet possesses such a tenderness, a trait you wouldn't think could survive on these streets. At times I have found this city to be extremely frustrating and alienating, and then I found it fascinating. This is a raw and charged environment, an authentic place in every sense of the word that never comes in small, easy-to-swallow bites. In Naples, you always get a whole pizza. If you want to learn more about what I did in Europe, talk about the show, or check out my photos and journal, log on to Travel Channel, discovery.com. See you there.